Take two. All right. Action. Wanted to do a video. That's why I have a video camera on. In a weird mood. Okay, this is on the side here. I got something from Costco. I don't know if I showed this already. This is a grow light, and no, that's not what I'm going to be growing. Although, no, just kidding. Um, I got it actually thinking it would be a good for wintertime for seasonal affect disorder. It was 30 bucks. And I mean, but what I'm also going to start using it for, I think, is my videos. Because I'm just show you, I'm setting this here on the computer and it's just reflecting off the ceiling. And this is going to like bleach this out. So be prepared. Okay, now that it's adjusting, it's actually a really pleasant lighting. It's got a real warm cast to it. I don't know if there's a red part to it, but it looks pretty natural. It kind of looks like I took the top off the roof here. And but anyway, I may start video taping with those on. Videotaping, it shows my age. What's that? Videotaping, never mind. Okay. It's like cassette tapes and 8-track and all that. Huh? Jeez. Can you imagine as much technology as we've gone through at our age, what the modern generations, they're going to go through technology so quick. It's like gum wrappers. I mean, it's like bing, 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 bing. All right, yeah, all right. Got new prosthetic arms here. Okay, right. Okay, head transplant. No problem. Speaking of that, that's not actually a bell. That's this thing. Okay. 2 minutes of your life wasted, and I'm sorry. This is the topic of this video. This is notes to myself again, and okay, and I think this is an important one. Also, I had a friend of mine comment on a video. She said, "Can you stick to a topic?" Like topic, but I got to talk about my light anyway. Yes. Okay. I said, the journey, this ASD journey, is not just about autism. It's going to drag in every other factor that has affected your life. It is all one big ball of knotted string you will have to unravel. Okay. Yeah, that's pretty close. And I wrote down a list of an outline here. Okay, I have it broken into past issues and current issues. I'm sorry, I'm looking at myself and you're probably going, past issues and current issues, okay? Family dynamics. Because as you're starting to go into, okay, this is my perspective, but I think there's a percentage of you out there that will probably really, really parallel what I'm going through. Matter of fact, I think most of you will. Past issues, family dynamics. And I'll just give my personal take on this, and that is, I had a father that was very oppressive, very controlling. I mean, autistic or not, it was. I don't know if my sister is or not autistic, but she's actually was affected more today as far as social. She's still so shy. I mean, so sensitive to any, not even criticism, but just anything perceived as attention almost, to her. But anyway, so that on top of being autistic is a bad combination. It just, matter of fact, all my life I thought it was the family dynamics. I thought that's what was going on in my life. And the fact that we moved around a lot, which I consider, I guess, part of the family dynamics. But, you have to start sorting all that stuff out. What was it an influence of your father or mother or both, or whatever your situation is, the home environment, school, grade school, high school, college. I look back at all of those and I go, oh, yeah, still there, still alive and kicking, still struggling into my, I'd say my, I won't say, I say struggling, I mean, when I was consciously still trying to fit in, still trying to figure it all out, I would say up till 40s, somewhere between 40 and 50 is when I started to, actually, it's when I started to kind of withdraw and isolate. I can remember, and I don't remember the exact age, I'm sorry, my eyes are dry. I can remember it just sort of hitting me like, why, you don't have to do this. You don't have to fit in. Well, things had changed in my life as far as, I wasn't as social. The jobs I was taking, or didn't hang out with my friends after work, weren't those kind of jobs. So after I was in college, it was late. I think it was like 25 when I started for my bachelor's degree, and that was like a 5-year program, and that went so anyway. So that was a lot more social, and I enjoyed that. I miss it actually, miss it still. But I wasn't like social. I had developed really, other than the people in class that hello and hello. I worked at the bookstore, so you got to know. But I never stayed in touch with any of those people, any of them, none of them. Personal issues, you're going to go back through things like relationships and friendships, work issues, medical issues, including like treatment for depression and anxiety and whatever else, One of these days when I get brave enough, I'll go into deeper detail, but I had, maybe I won't, I don't know. I had some cries for help. I put it down here as cries for help, and I had a couple times that I'll leave it at that, that I go back and look at that and I think, oh boy. So that, you'll have all those, to me, it's sort of like the wheat from the chaff, you're like, okay, well that's probably a family thing that happened, but it was influenced by this, because you'll look at, it's, to me, as I started to learn more about autism, I started seeing more of the traits in myself currently, and talking with people, they talk about, yeah, I realized that when I was such and such age, I did this. It's like, oh, I did that too. A classic one I have on this channel was I was talking to someone about I forget what brought it up, but it was as I was researching. This is before diagnosis. This is still when I was like, gosh, could I be or couldn't I be, or is this real? So part of me internally was like, this is real, this is real, this is you, this is real, you found it. Another part was like, come on now, come on, you don't want to jump the gun here. But anyway, while I was researching traits, I remember being online and saying, hey, I used to, now I look at it, I kind of put it in a phrase in a way, but I didn't see the connection. It was like, I used to like flip bicycles upside down, on their seat, with the handlebars, they'd rest up there and crank and watch the wheels and watch the chains and switch the gears and put the brake on, and just it was a fascinating thing. And I asked, is that a trait? People were like, well, I don't know anything. What I told the person online, or somebody commented like on a recent video, was that I was on the website for Autism Society, I think it was called, and I went to their Asperger section of their website, and there was a picture of a kid with his bike upside down, rotating. I was like, and I'll never forget how that hit me, because it was just like, in the face. Of course, that's one thing. Of course, you got all the other things around it, and you're just like, oh, well, maybe. we did this all our lives. It's like, oh, but that's probably because of the oatmeal I ate last Wednesday, some excuse you come up with. And like, okay, yeah, that makes sense. Okay, so the past. It's not like the past and the present. It's just and that's the part I think is going to be different from everyone. How well do you remember your past? How well will you recall your past? The more I started going into my past, the more I remembered. I mean, to me, it was like I would remember a day in class. And I still remember the first grade, first time, sitting in my seat, going through the ABCs, and they had the chalkboards, and they had the ABCs and the banner above the chalkboards, and we had our lined paper. Okay, here's an A, and she had the little chalk thing that spaces it out so it's lines on the chalkboard, I mean, I remember all that, and I remember I was actually having fun then. We started reading. That's when hell broke loose for me. That's when it was. And then actually, it's around that time too that the family dynamics really changed. Actually, they changed before that, but it was before that. Anyway, this is an example of me just going back into time. But as I remembered that, then I remember the struggling with reading. And then an image comes up. Oh gosh, I remember sitting in the group the first time. And then I got to the point where I had enough memories. I reconstructed the school. It was only a one-room schoolhouse I went to in first grade. Yes, and we walked 5 miles in the snow up to my, no, just kidding. But it was, I just started, it all fed on each other, and it just more and more information started to come out. It was really cool. But that happened in a lot of stuff. I went back to schools. I went to school for about 3rd grade to 7th grade in the area I'm in now. And I drove back there 6 months ago. Oh, no, not that. 3 months ago. I was in the area. Actually, it was the day that I did my diagnosis. It was the day I did the diagnosis. I was in the area, and I went back. I wanted to see if it would jar some memories, and it kind of did. Anyway, so depending on how you're going to go through all this, but go through the current list here real quick too. Of course, I said all that's on the current list or the former list: family, school, personal issues, relationships, friendships, work issues, depression, anxiety, blah, blah, blah. You're going to go through that in the current sense too. What's happening with family? What's happening, well, if you're in school or not, but, personal issues, relationships. I'm actively trying to date now, which it could be a whole nother video. Matter of fact, that might be an interesting video. To me, it's been a whole new lease on life because I, for the first time, feel like I've got my self-worth back, a self-identity back. I mean, for the first time, really. It's exciting. It's really cool. Okay, that. And then a previous video I did is how autistic will you become? Will you embrace your traits or will you cover them still? Will you start stimming in public, or will you start stimming, and then will you go so far as to stim in public? I think it depends. When I think about it, will you continue to suppress your autistic traits, or will you continue to mask them, or will you be a chameleon still? I think the latter for me. I guess it all depends. I don't know yet. I don't know. Will you become a vocal advocate? I put that in there because that's what I think I'm sort of becoming. Sort of becoming. Yeah, okay, well, that's got a lot of purposes. For me, as much as I'm hoping that people will ask me, oh, wow, what's that? I'm thinking about getting some car stickers or magnets or whatever, and trying to really get conversation going. I don't know, it may not work. Telling family, friends, coworkers, employers. My sister knows. I'm assuming she's told everyone. Maybe not the details she knows. I don't know. I know they're probably wondering why I've kind of disappeared off the face of the earth for the last 6 months. I mean, I was calling weekly and now I'm calling monthly, talking to my sister. We got the relationship's still good, but in a way it's changed mine. I guess I've been so focused on this. This has been so all-consuming for me. And it's probably not good that I've been this distant this long, but I feel like I need to do it because I think I will I will lose progress if I get into situations where I feel I have to become my old self again. I don't know if that makes sense, but I think that's one reason I'm kind of avoiding my family. And I don't have any friends per se. I mean, really, my one really good friend, we call each other and talk maybe monthly. Haven't been together for a while. Wow, yeah, like a year. So a little over a year. And what problems are you going to address for your future? You know, like I'm wondering about, I'm going to the counselor a week from this Friday, and I'm not sure what I'm going to address. I mean, there are issues I have. As I've been, what are we doing? It's going to be a long video, I'm sorry. But as I address things like relationships, all of a sudden, all the problems I had in relationships are starting to come to light in perspective of being autistic. It's like, oh, and it's shaken my self-confidence. Not that I had a whole lot, honestly, to begin with, but now I'm doubting everything. And in a way, it's good because I'm also being very open. I'm being very honest. I'm saying, look, this is where I'm at in my life right now. These are things going on. You know, I feel like if it's a relationship, I've actually, come on, people, leave me alone. I actually, on one of the dating sites, the first thing I put in the profile was, I'm autistic, blah, blah, blah. This is what's going on in my life. And needless to say, nobody, well, I have had one person that has shown an interest, but it's, I think it's something weird with it. I didn't pay. It's one of these free websites, and I think they kind of block stuff or something. I don't know. It seems what's going on. So anyway, things that are affecting work. And depending on your age, this is an interesting one. What are you going to do with the time that's left? There's a part of me, I'd love to go back to school. But to do that, I'm thinking, okay, I mean, where there's a will, there's a way. I've almost had my house paid off, and like another year, the house will be paid off. So it's like, okay, I work another year, well, then it needs really a roof and siding, and that's another couple of years of work just to pay those off, and that pushes me to 63, and what, retirement 65, 67 or something, you know. And so then when time for school, you know, so it's like, well, if you're going to go to school, you better sell everything now and live in a dorm. And so, and if you diagnosed early, I mean, even 40 years old, even 50 years old, it gives you, I mean, every year counts. It really does. And I guess one advantage to the situation I'm in is I'm not going to take my time for granted now, because it isn't. And so anyway, here I am, almost 20 minutes. This is my longest video yet. Thank you for your patience. Don't forget, you can get these lights at Costco. Just kidding. Thank you again, and I'm to all of you that have, you know, actually subscribed, and all of you that do view these. Thank you. It means a lot. I hope it does mean something to you. So, talk to you later. Bye bye.